and what we haven't seen is any substantiation of the charges that are leveled. What are you making of what we've seen over the past couple of weeks?
I think this is becoming a very classic case of how the mighty have fallen. A very high profile, celebrity-like journalist getting embroiled in something, and now the process has become a punishment for him. Every day, I suppose you will see new charges, new allegations and new things coming up, mostly by the Goa police, because I suspect that when an investigating officer goes to the court and says, I'm being intimidated, it means that they're scrapping the barrel. They have found perhaps nothing against him, and that is why they're now trying to somehow save face and say, well, they're criminally intimidated, so he should not get bail.
Do you find it believable that an investigating officer is being threatened by someone who's in jail?
Firstly, I'd like to know if Neha Gupta is working with either Geeta Luthra or others, and if there's any such situation, then it should be disclosed.
No, I'm not.
There are a number of things
she's entitled to a point of view as you.
No, of course she's entitled to a point of view.
I'm a lawyer.
But I think if there's any affiliation should be disclosed. Now she has answered it. That is correct. There are a number of things here. This case, I think, makes it more and more clear to me that the difficulties a complainant goes through in the criminal justice system. There's a backlash that's happening across the country, and it's also reflected in the media that I'm seeing. There is no doubt that a fair trial is required. And there are a number of reasons why a fair trial is required. It's not just because of that Tarun Tejpal deserves a fair trial. We all deserve to know who did it, what happened, etc. Right? In a case of a gang rape, for instance, if it's not a particular 4 people, then there are other 4 people on the loose. Right? So the fairness of the criminal justice system is very central. At the same time, what we are seeing here is a sort of coordinated campaign. And there's a way in which it's true. All media houses were very much in favor of the victim, etc. And now what I'm seeing is a backlash. I think in any case, what needs to be done is, I'm seeing a backlash. Like, so for instance, Rahul, I've been on your show before on this issue.
But I'm saying, aren't these important questions as well to be asked?
These are absolutely important questions.
And they must be asked with
absolutely.
Why assume what one is saying to be true, and why assume what the other is saying to be completely untrue? That's the limited question I'm asking.
Yeah, but what was happening before is that there was a consistent, coordinated, by all media houses, support of the victim, which I think supporting the victim in general is a good principle, because victims are in a much, much worse situation than people in power who commit these sorts of rapes, right? Which is not to say...
so you're assuming that all of it is true? You already jumped to that conclusion.
No, I think what's happening here is that in an effort to show that, I think it's very clear what the backlash is to me. So now I think what needs to happen is the evidence needs to be gone in with a degree of rigor. Now there is a court that is already there. The charge sheet is going to come out shortly. Let's see what the charge sheet said. Your earlier question about the family of Tejpal's family trying to influence the victim, we did not see a denial. We did not see a denial from the family saying that they went to, request and emotionally pressure. In terms of intimidation, in terms of a threat, I didn't hear any of that. And so to that extent, I'm disagreeing with Abha Singh, just saying that I didn't hear any of that. Again, I have no private access to information.
Should the family be speaking out now, or possibly they've been advised by their lawyers not to be speaking out at all, because that could possibly jeopardize the bail hearing?
Whatever they say at this point could be a double-edged sword. I think they've probably been advised.
See, that's a tricky question. Should the family be coming out and defending themselves, saying that all the charges that are being leveled are true, or are they untrue, and giving reasons for why they believe they are untrue? Because Karuna raises an important point, that we haven't seen any denial. So for all we know, the family could be accepting that they did go out and intimidate the mother. They haven't come out and denied it.
Not intimidate, emotionally influence, try and influence the mother.
No, but the charge was of intimidation. The charge was of intimidation.
No, the charge was not of intimidation.
The charge was of intimidation.
Look at your records again.
Look at the charge that the lady leveled. The mother said that the charge was that they came and tried to influence the case.
Influence, not intimidate, these are two separate things.
Let Alik Padamsee respond. That's not my understanding of it, but Karunanandi is entitled to a different opinion. Let Alik Padamsee respond.